What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Two Worlds podcast. I'm Jake. I am back. And with me, as always, is the Chitara to my Lion-O. It's Casey. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. Why am I not the gray guy? Because I figured that was actually Lionel's best friend. That's how I always remembered it from my childhood.
Panthro. I
Yeah.
mean, he might be, but does Lion-O want to fuck Panthro?
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Maybe he's
Anyway,
clapping them cheeks. Who knows?
he could be. We were just talking about Chitara, and I was like, you know who else is fine as hell and mildly furry fuel? It's Casey.
I mean, that is what I'm going to be at C2E2 if we go this year.
I can't wait to see that.
You'll
All
be
right.
Snarf, correct?
Yeah. Honestly, dude, like I don't have the means to pull off a costume this awesome, but I think Mum Ra would be a dope cosplay.
Yeah, that's one of those ones though where it's also kind of funny because it's like yeah, in the nice poses it looks cool, but then like just walking around it kind of looks silly
Yeah, for sure.
because
But
those are the
he
like those epic ones that always looks kind of it's always like they're just like walk around looking through long boxes while they're like have like this amazing cosplay. It's like, man, you're probably kind of mildly regretting this Mr. Freeze cosplay you dropped $1,500 to make, huh?
I know, right? I think Mom Ra is so like underrated as far as like 80s cartoon villains. Like people don't really talk about Thundercats as much as like G.I. Joe or Transformers or some of
He-Man.
those others, He-Man. But Mom Ra looks sick.
I think the big problem with that, and if anyone's saying like, ah, you're crazy, it's because they didn't make as many toys. Like the those toys, there's not near as many of them as there are like He-Man and Turtles and
Yeah,
you know all those.
that is true. But anyway, enough about 80s cartoons. Let's get into the news this week. And I'm going to be honest, folks, I was kind of busy this last week and didn't really get the chance to look up too much news. So this episode is going to be pretty Casey heavy, but I will, of course, chime in as always. But
Back to back
first,
Casey heavies.
I know, right? That's okay though. I like Casey quite a bit, so you know how it is. Um, we did have so I was talking to friend of the show, friend of Jake, Dan, earlier today, and he was venting a bit about the Axe Judgment Day event that just happened at Marvel. And Dan was pretty upset by it because, much like any other Marvel event in recent history, it didn't matter. And Dan, that sucker, bought all those issues from my store. But anyway, he was talking about how, and I quote, a 37 issue crossover walked back in two panels. And he sent me pictures of those two panels, and I just want to read them real quick because it's hilarious. And I don't even know who's saying this. Do you know who that is? Is that like Warrior Woman or whatever her name is? I can't even tell.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Or maybe it's an Inhuman or somebody that I
Yeah.
don't know. But she says, "You say this is all a test? It is, but also for you. I wanted a better God." And then he says, "I am no God. I can make mistakes. I must make amends. I will put things as they were before my judgment." It's just like, dude, that's how you end this huge event, by literally saying, I'm putting it right back to where it was. Like, normally they show you that they do that, right? But
Hmm.
no, this one they tell you that is exactly what they're doing. And I thought that was honestly hilarious and really
Yeah.
shitty at the same time.
Like not knowing what really any of that's about because I didn't read any of those books. Since they said things, I was like hoping it was all just like Ben Grimm related. Like he's like, oh, I'm human again. And he's like, oh shit.
Oh man, that would be so funny. Anyway, I just thought it was funny. Sorry to laugh at your expense, Dan, but you did provide us with some entertainment. So anyway,
Okay.
Casey, hop on into that news there, buddy.
Yeah, man. So I'll start with first thing I saw, not first thing I saw, but one of the early things I saw, Constantine 2, it's going to be they're like it's going to be a real hard R rating this time. And it's like I mean, at least this one makes more sense because Constantine was always a little bit more, dark and stuff, but it's always just the laziness after Deadpool. We're like, "Huh, we're gonna do this right. We gotta make it R." It's like you don't at all. Like, make sure you just get the character right because Keanu's Constantine last time did not get the character right. So I mean, it's just nothing, like nothing about it still has me overly excited. I like the first one with Keanu, but it's like, oh boy, now it's gonna be a hard R rating. Oh, buddy.
I think so. If they're gonna go that route, how I would want it to be is like violent,
Yeah.
like like demons, spirits, like make them super brutal.
Yeah, I think the last one was I always thought was rated R, but I don't think it was. I think it was like a barely like just enough demon stuff to be R. But yeah, it's just I don't know. It's like at least with this one, it's different than when they go Wolverine has to be rated R because all the rated R Wolverine comic books that he's done over the years, and
Yeah.
I always hate that.
Uh, the thing is, and I apologize if this offends anybody that's listening, but we all think Wolverine's cool because he is. But some of the people that are like really into Wolverine comics are the same people that really love Deadpool, The Walking Dead, and Harley Quinn. And we all know, those most of those types of comic readers. So, they just want Wolverine to walk around with a cig in his mouth, telling everyone to fuck off. But that's like all they want. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Which sure is a smidge of the character, but it's certainly not all of the character.
yeah,
But anyway, I I'll need to rewatch that first movie because I don't remember anything about it.
yeah.
And
It's that.
actually, I'm pretty sure the first time I ever watched it was like once late at night at your house back when we
Oh,
were in like
really?
junior high or high school. Yeah. So yeah, I really don't remember much about it at all.
Yeah, like I said, I always liked it, but going back and reading Constantine after it came out, it's like, oh, this is not a Constantine movie at all. So I don't really, again, just make sure you get the character right this time, or just keep it like as just not like the comics at all, and just go crazy, crazy, overly religious with it. Just go, go all, like either or.
Right.
But
Man, and that movie had such a crazy cast too.
mm-hmm,
Like a stacked cast.
yeah. Okay, but since we mentioned Wolverine, I'll bring this up. The Logan actress Daphne Keane is set to reprise her role in the MCU as X-23, according to rumors. So, didn't say where. My guess would be in the Agatha show, but or in Deadpool. It's going to be one of those two, would be my guess, because that's the only ones that really fits in. But that could be cool.
I mean, when are they gonna do like Young Avengers? We've got all these like we've got Wanda's kids, Ironheart, X-23. I'm sure I'm missing some.
Well, I mean, they're
Ant-Man's
still.
kid's gonna be out soon. There's America Chavez. Like,
And didn't I mean, I didn't watch, but didn't Winter Soldier and Falcon or Falcon Winter Soldier like kind of lead into that one Captain America kid that's in Winter the Young Avengers?
yeah, what is his name? Is like Patriot or something like that?
Maybe it's like Boy Patriot. But yeah, so I mean, I think they're just trying to introduce them all and all that stuff first before they do anything else. And also they have to reintroduce the Wiccan and the other whatever the other kid's name is
Speed,
because
right?
yeah, maybe they have to reintroduce them, and they're going to be doing that. in my next bit of news, people in the Agatha show, because people have stated that this new Agatha show is set to become the MCU's gayest show. And if you remember, people were saying that the new Love and Thunder was going to be Marvel's gayest movie. And I think there was like one gay person in it, and it was a joke because they made Korg gay with Dwayne, the Rock guy. And it's like, this is so gay. Natalie Portman's like, this is so gay. You guys are going to believe how gay this movie is. And then it's like, according to everyone that watched it, it was just really lame. So maybe Natalie Portman's using it the way we use gay in high school. I don't know. But yeah, so it's always weird to me that they're like, this movie's gonna be so gay. It's like you're gonna have 1 to 2 gay characters. It
Yeah.
doesn't make it so gay. It's just it's gonna have gay characters. Just leave it at that.
Right. And like, let's be real, at this point, what movie or show doesn't?
Yeah. And so
So,
I mean, unless they're like, no, 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 we're gonna go with all the gay stereotypes. And it's like you guys are doing it wrong. Like we don't no one wants Will and Grace, the MCU show. So I don't think that should be the way you're
well,
going about things.
most people don't want that.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself, man.
Okay. Okay, so Stargirl, we talked about that being canceled, and Jeff Johns had the foresight since he knew CW was actually getting bought out to do 2 different season finales, one for the series and one if it was just a season. So we're actually, if you are watching that, you actually are going to get a proper series finale for it, which is pretty good. I always hate when they leave with like, like, oh, we didn't know we were getting canceled. We were setting up for the next season.
Yeah.
Does that got you like going like I'm gonna check this out now that it's all dead?
Well, I mean, there was, it never was I not going to check it out. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, I got you, man.
So, I mean, I still plan to.
Yeah. Okay, so rumors have been going around that the Thunderbolts will have Hyperion as the main villain. Ryan Gosling is rumored to be playing him. I mean, that's great. Like, I just love the thought of a bunch of people that are street levelers taking on, Superman.
I don't know though. But think about this. When was it? It was one of the really bad Avengers movies, one of the last two. Um, like Scarlet Witch is getting steamrolled by the enemies, but then like Cap and Black Widow are just whooping all their asses,
Oh,
right?
yeah, that was the first of the
Yeah.
Infinity War or whatever.
So, I mean, if it happens there, it won't surprise me at all if that type of thing happens again.
Yeah.
It's going to be, you know, Ant-Man's kid that destroys Kang or whoever next.
Yeah, right. Okay. Marvel and Sony are reportedly developing a live-action Silk Spider Society show that will launch an entire Spider-Man cinematic universe, which it's weird because I know Sony had Silk stuff lined up with Amazon we talked about like a while back, and then I guess nothing came of that. Um, but I have a feeling Marvel's doesn't have much to do with this. It's probably mostly Sony going like, we need this cinematic universe. So we've tried the villains and that didn't work. So might as well try an actual spider character. So I think Silk is much more likely to start up a universe than Morbius. So or Craven. So I think that's a good
Madam
bet.
Web.
Yeah. Boy. Are you excited? Would you watch a Silk TV show?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I think Silk works better in a show than a movie.
Yeah.
It's
And
just we want, was it Alyssa Wong or somebody else?
it was Alyssa Wong, and then I'm blanking on the other person that wrote her because we got Alyssa Wong and another person, and both of
Right.
them killed it.
Well, yeah, both were great. So I would want one of them to do the show.
Yeah. Okay. It's believed that Shin Ultraman, actually, I saw today where you can get the tickets. Shin Ultraman is going to get its US release on January 11th and the 12th, and it's already actually been released in multiple places. Like you can see it in Chicago, you can see it in St. Louis, even. Uh, but like now this is a Fathoms event thing. So you on the 11th it's going to be subtitled, and on the 12th it'll be dubbed. So I'm pretty pumped. I've been wanting to see this movie since it was announced, and so like I'm gonna have to see this when this happens. Now it's gonna be rad. Are you gonna check it out?
If you come to St. Louis and watch it with me, I'll check it out.
I mean, depending on where it's at. If it's someplace closer, might not. But
Wow, you heard it here first, folks. I'm not worth the drive.
I mean, it's a long drive to sit and read a movie, you know.
Next to your best friend.
I didn't know if Mike would be up to seeing it too or not, since he's probably the biggest Ultraman fan out of the three of us.
He absolutely is. So yeah, I think he would go for sure.
Okay, so I got some Daredevil news. First of all, I just heard on Inside You podcast with Michael Rosenbaum because I've been in a tractor, so I just been listening to all the podcasts. But he had Deborah Ann Wool, who's Karen Page in Daredevil, and he was talking to her, and she stated she hasn't been contacted yet about Daredevil Born Again. But then again, Andrew Garfield also was never contacted to be in the new Spider-Man movie. And we found out that he was a liar, so maybe she's a liar too. She kind of has to be in it, if because I mean, how the last season ended, unless like Foggy and Matt are like, we had to kick her out of the practice.
Like, man, she was just the worst,
Yeah.
wasn't she?
It's like as soon as we made her a partner, she thought she could just take over. And then also Jenna Ortega, it's I guess she's Wednesday in the new Wednesday show. She's going to appear in Daredevil Born Again as the White Tiger. And the last bit of news that I have about Daredevil Born Again that I did not write down is that they're allegedly going to be going for a more mature rating for it. So more like the Netflix one.
Good. I think everybody wanted to hear that.
Yeah. Okay. Reebok and DC are teaming up for a Good and Evil shoe collection launching next month on the 2nd. And that's pretty exciting. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen the Reebok Mighty Morphin Power Ranger shoes, but they go all out and they look so cool. So I would highly recommend, like, if you're big into shoes, keep your eyes peeled for this because I have a feeling they're going to be awesome. And probably you'll be able to get some money if you buy them early and, you know, resell them.
So I just looked up the Power Ranger shoes. Holy shit, they're cool.
Yeah. Like, I missed out on the ones that I wanted. I wanted the Megazord ones because they look the coolest, and I missed out on them. And like on StockX, this one guy had them for like $300, and I'm like, I'll offer you 180, and then he's like 300. I'm like, no, thank you, because it's like with my size. That's the main reason why it was that high. Because like the other ones were like in the 180s, like the normal foot sized ones, you know.
Right.
But he's like, I'm gonna get money off this freak somehow.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't seeing the Megazord ones at first, but now I do, and yeah, those are insanely cool.
It's probably for the best I didn't get them because I don't think Bree would let me go out to on date night in my Megazord shoes.
Hey, I'm just saying, if guys, if your lady won't let you go out on date night in your Megazord shoes, is she the one?
I'll be like, the Megazord shoes stay on during the bedroom stuff.
I like to think that that's what you call it,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
bedroom stuff.
Because there's a lot more going on than just boning. That's the title.
Anyway, yep.
Um, okay, so Netflix is getting in on the kaiju fun with a new Gamera anime. It's called Gamera Rebirth. It's gonna be a 2023 release date. That's what they're saying now. But at the same time, we've had a King Kong anime in the works for Lord knows how long. So I'm not going to hold my breath. It's going to come out in 2023. I hope if it does, it doesn't have the animation that a lot of the Netflix animes have, where it's like, oh, really cell shaded and it looks like Ruby, because that's a great anime. So I hope it's not like that. I hope it's better, but I'm still
Yeah,
gonna watch it.
Man, imagine if it was like season one of One Punch Man style anime.
Right. I mean, dude, I would take Singular Point style because like the monsters they did like CG with, but still the animation was really good outside of that. So I would just take that. Like
Yeah,
I would take about anything other than the cell shaded crap that they did for the first Godzilla anime.
yeah. I'm actually pretty pumped for that. I'm absolutely on board for a Gamera anime.
Yeah, I'm like nothing's come out. Like some people are thinking it's gonna be a sequel to the Heisei trilogy, which would be pretty dope. But at the same time, it's also like I don't think it's necessary to do a sequel to that. I think it's kind of fine doing a standalone and just doing something new. So I'm just like whatever. I'm also just like I just want more Gamera. That's
We all do.
yeah. Like last time we got something new about Gamera, I think it was in 2014, and it was this like proof of concept trailer where it's like this awesome trailer. And like it's just like I watched, I'm like, holy crap, this is so cool. Cause I saw it in like 2017, thinking like, oh, this is gonna actually happen. Because I didn't see the 2014 part. And then they're like, no, that was just a proof of concept that we had an idea.
Like,
So
thanks, I
yeah,
guess.
it's like that's cool. It's a really neat idea. Oh man. You want to talk about the new Blade director?
You bet I do. So, new Blade movie director in Jan
Yeah, that
Demange.
sounds good.
Okay. He worked previously on Lovecraft Country, which I haven't seen, but Casey has, and also worked on White Boy Rick, which I have never heard of before.
Oh, I remember seeing trailers for it. It came out a couple of years ago. I heard it was pretty solid. Like it's one of those things where love he worked on one episode of Lovecraft Country too. Like I tried to find out what episode, I couldn't even find that out. But I also found out like, about this like 10 minutes before we went on. So, it is what it is. But yeah, the it I'm interested in seeing it because like Lovecraft Country, it was solid, but it's also a TV show, so it's like those are usually well-oiled machines. But when the directors come on, so I'm not convinced that he would have made it good. But I heard good things about White Boy Rick, so yeah, we'll
Right.
see.
Oh, real
What?
quick, speaking of uh movies that I've seen lately, I had quite a long flight last week. So I watched Knives Out because I hadn't seen that yet, and it was one of the movie options on the plane. I actually really liked it.
Yeah, no, it's
It's
great.
it's a cool movie.
Yeah, it
Didn't
was so
didn't expect
funny.
it, but was really pleasantly surprised.
Well, I mean, I know you're gonna roll your eyes at this, but Ryan Johnson's a good director.
He's just not a good Star Wars director.
Yeah, and I think he probably could have done that well had that franchise had any actual direction to begin with. Like if they had, hate to say it, a Kevin Feige type that could actually be like, no, no, this is the direction we're going, not just make a new movie that has nothing to do, but maybe stuff to do with the last one.
They have that now. It just happened to happen after
Yeah,
that god awful trilogy.
yeah. But I just with that movie, I was not prepared to hear Daniel Craig have a Kentucky accent.
Dude, me either, but it
It's
was great.
hilarious. Yeah, no, it was just so funny because like I was like, in all the trailers I saw, he never spoke. So I was just like, I'm like, yeah, he's just be talking like Daniel Craig, and then he like starts talking with a
Like
fruity,
Colonel Sanders.
yeah, like a fruity Colonel Sanders, and I'm like, holy crap, that's hilarious. All right, so we got some news about one of Jake's favorite Marvel writers, I'd say, and Donny Cates this week. Ryan Otley tweeted he is taking over Hulk for the next issue on to issue, I think he said 14, and then that's going to finish up the arc, and then Ryan Otley is going off to do creator owned stuff. And then also, Jake had talked about Donny Cates being off of Thor for the next arc, and it's Groenbeck is taking over that. And so then there's stuff that Donny
Just fine
Cates,
with me.
yeah. But Donny Cates tweeted today, he's like, "Hey guys, I'm okay. Just needed to breathe and deal with a bunch of life." Anyway, yeah, no fear. I've been working with CB Subowski, Will Moss, and Marvel in the background on something insane. It's all capitalized. That will, well, you'll know it when you see it. Love you guys. See you soon. Excelsior. So yeah, I mean, it's a shame that he's kind of off the, off a Hulk. He doesn't get to finish it out, but hopefully he's,
So sorry.
just hopefully whatever he's dealing with and gets better for him.
Right. So I saw that that Otley's actually credited as the writer and artist
Mm-hmm.
for several things, and he said uh, that there's a chance that Donnie will still come back and like co-write was on some things,
Oh,
but
cool. I didn't see that.
yeah, but for right now it's just going to be him doing it. So um, hopefully it remains good. I guess we'll see if Otley has you know can write Hulk as well as he draws Hulk.
I bet he can. And I mean, if we're being honest, this one it's been mostly just fun. Not really like, just like a fun smash 'em, not like a really good meaty Hulk story. So I think it's gonna be fine if someone takes over and still just writes a smash 'em up, fun, goofy story. You know, shouldn't be that bad. We'll see though.
Yeah, I will say this. I'm a little bummed that because Hulk, it's not they're not doing an issue in December. It's delayed to January. And I'm really getting sick of Donny Cates's books like getting delayed in multiple months, man. Like it really is such a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably whatever he was dealing with was part of the issue with that. But okay, last bit of news. We're getting a new DC start over, basically, is the way it sounds. It's like DC doing it all over again, like they like to do, like when they had Brightest Day or the new number, like all the new number ones that they've ever gone through. They're doing it again because an event has ended. It's going to be called Dawn of DC. They're to launch 20 new comic books across 2023, and Jake's already counting all the new money he's going to get. uh,
Maybe.
and so yeah, I'm just gonna read off all the different things. We got in February 2023, Superman #1 by Josh Williamson and Jamal Campbell. Clark Kent is settling back into his life on Earth while iconic and new enemies erupt from the shadows to take him on. So Tom Taylor always liked to say how great that his book, was selling. Apparently, it wasn't selling well enough. Josh Williamson has to take over. Zing. And then March 2023, we got Unstoppable Doom Patrol #1 by Dennis Culver and Chris Burnham, spinning directly out of Lazarus Planet. The world's strangest superheroes are saving the world by saving its monsters. And Adventures of Superman, John Kent #1 by Tom Taylor and Clayton Henry. John Kent will also get to forge his own path and will take on the man responsible for his kidnap and torture, Ultraman. Then at eight,
I gotta say real quick, I after seeing the art, I'm pretty stoked for Doom Patrol. I think it looks cool.
yeah, I know you're not always the biggest like Chris Burnham fan. Like he's kind of hit and miss for you, but I think he's gonna kill it on Doom Patrol.
Yeah, for sure.
And then like the only problem with Doom Patrol, honestly, is they get too dang weird for me at times. Like
Hmm.
I like the last one that was out, but then like by like the eighth issue, and I'm like, okay, this is too much. I'm done. I'm tapping out. Okay, then we get Superboy, The Man of Tomorrow by Kenny Porter and Janoy Lindsay, the 2022 DC Round Robin winner, determined to find his place in a strange universe. Connor Kent slash Superboy leaves Earth behind, but his journey of self-discovery brings him face to face with a group of freedom fighters who challenge not just everything Connor stands for, but what it means to bear the Superman crest. How funny would it be if his journey of self-discovery is him finding out that he is bisexual and he flies back, like it ends with him flying back to Gotham and just grabbing Tim and just give him a big old tongue bath, and then Tim's like, "Hey, I'm with Bernard now, sir. You had your chance when I tried to clone you back in the Jeff Johns run, and I then hooked up with your ex girlfriend. No, thank you."
Wow. So anyway, if you guys want to read Casey's DC fanfic, we'll have a link in the bio.
It was actually co-written by the girl that's writing Robin right now too.
I would believe it. What you just
Actually,
said is even better.
yeah, because she was like, no, well, he has to stay with Bernard. That's his one true love from 2 issues in his old series.
Yeah, and don't forget that the one detective's no one's fairy gay father.
Yeah. So you still reading that book?
No, surprisingly, I dropped it after one issue.
Dang. Okay, so next up it's gonna be Green Lantern Hal Jordan by Mariko Tamaki and a artist to be decided or said. Um it's going to be available in April. Fan favorite Hal Jordan returns to Earth and to his blockbuster superhero action storytelling roots. So this should be fun. Like Tamaki, I was very critical of her last. What was it? Just the one book, or was it two? It was just one book that I was like,
Uh
what was
I
the other one?
mean,
Because Detective was the one that I was like, this is really bad.
Crush.
Oh yeah, Crush was bad too. I mean, I'm still gonna because her She-Hulk was good, so I'm hoping. So then Green Arrow by Williamson and Sean Izaakse. So we Oliver Queen has been lost since Dark Crisis on Infinite Earth, and his family is determined to find him, but there are dangerous forces just as determined to keep them apart at any cost. An action-packed adventure across the DC universe that sets the stage for major stories in 2023. Yeah, I was wondering what they're going to be doing with Green Arrow. As I've been reading Dark Crisis, the way that last issue was with him, I'm like, oh, I wonder if how they're going to bring that back. But he's getting his own book. Uh,
And that artist is good. So I
yeah,
think that's gonna be awesome.
yeah, and Williamson's great too. So it's just sad that it's on a Green Arrow book.
Oh, does that mean you're not gonna check it out?
Probably not. I
Dang.
just don't care about him. Then Batman the Brave and the Bold, featuring multiple creators, including Tom King, Mitch Gerards, Gillian March, Gabriel Hardman, Dan Mora, Rob Williams, and more. A classic title returns with tales of the Dark Knight and core stories building out Dawn of DC.
If
Cyborg,
they make this an $8 book, like fucking
Urban
whatever
Legends.
urban legends, I'm gonna be so upset.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's probably going to be one that I can miss as long as Tom King's writing it.
Yep.
Mitch Gerards and his meal ticket, Tom King. Uh, and then we get a Cyborg book. No to be announced creative team, but Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths forever changed Victor Stone, and now as Dawn of DC rises, he might just hold the secret to Earth's future. That's going to be one that really just depends on the creative team, because I like Cyborg, but also if you're just like, here's this guy you've never heard of, I'm like, no, I can't do it. But if it's someone that I like for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I also like Cyborg a lot actually, but man, his last couple series just have not been good.
In all fairness, this might be better because like his last series that I remember was the New 52 one, where they were like, nah, he's not Teen Titans boy, he's his own thing and he's super cool, and like everyone's like, we want him to be in the Teen Titans though.
Yeah,
We
that's
loved
that's why
that.
we love that.
Yeah. And so like with this one actually like embracing his past, it might be better that way. Like that's my one hope. Then we got Shazam by Mark Waid and Dan Mora. Billy Batson is back as the champion in this action comedy comic about a boy with powers that rival Superman's and a whole lot of growing up left to do. We'll see Shazam hanging out at the Rock of Eternity, his secret clubhouse that can travel through space and time, as well as punching dinosaurs in the face, seeing how long he can hold his breath on the moon, and getting into wild, fun adventures with his tiger, Taki Tani, by his side. I'm pretty
This is
excited
gonna
about
be
that.
so awesome.
Only thing that I'm like a little disappointed by is I've been really loving Mary as the new champion Shazam. And so it's like, man, all she got was 4 issues.
Yeah. Maybe Mark will bring her into this.
I
Who
mean, it sounds like the
knows?
whole family will be in here. And you know how Mark writes, he's like, oh, I want every DC character I can get in these books because I love them all so much. They're my babies.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's gonna be good. Then we get the Penguin working title by Tom King and Stefano Gaudiano. After escaping Gotham City and his criminal past to happily retire to Metropolis, the Penguin is forced back into organized crime by the U.S. government. The feathered felon and Gotham City will never be the same. I bet that before this is over, the Penguin's gonna have PTSD. Okay,
Yeah, that's an easy pass.
yeah. Then we got Steelworks starring John Henry Irons, and then creative team to be announced just in time for this 30th anniversary. John Henry Irons must bring Metropolis into the future while trusting his niece Natasha to carry the mantle of Steel. Steelworks will be available in June from a talent team that will be revealed at a later date. Hearing this description, my money's on old dude, the guy that writes I Am Batman now. That's writing the Blue Wall. What's his
Oh,
name?
John Ridley.
Yeah, I'm betting John Ridley for this. Like that's where my money lies because this is like such a non-superhero book. After reading the description, like I was really pumped about a Steel book, or it's either gonna be him or Mark Russell. One of those two.
Oh man, wouldn't that be awesome?
I would love it to be Mark Russell, but like I would see John Ridley for sure. But then we're also getting Green Lantern, John Stewart by Philip Kennedy Johnson, and an artist to be announced later. The believe John's the
Sorry, can't
beloved
wait.
John Stewart gets back to the basics as a military trained, gritty but heroic Green Lantern, which I'm pretty excited about that. Someone actually asked on Twitter about Philip Kennedy Johnson if this means he is getting taken off of his Action Comics, and he says no. That's the type of title where it's pry it from my cold dead hands. So at least we know he's still on there.
I love that.
And then when they're showing the dawn of DC, they're also like, it's like, oh, Lazarus Planet is like where it starts, and then they do like at the end of the timeline thing, it has night, and then the rest is like blacked out. So they're like hinting at another next big event that they're gonna do that's gonna then make them all restart to number one again. So that's about all we get from the Dawn of DC stuff that came out, which let's just go with, since we do stuff in fours all the time, what 4 books from this new list, are you most excited about?
Um, I'll say Doom Patrol. I am pretty interested in Superboy. And then I'm gonna say Shazam and John Stewart for sure.
Yeah.
What about you, man?
I'm gonna say, like, since I don't want to copy you because like all of those are on my list, I'm gonna go Steelworks because, like I said, I do love Steel, so I'm pretty interested in that. And
I applaud them real quick. I applaud them for doing something for Steel for his anniversary. I love that they're
yeah,
doing that.
100% think it's gonna be a mini series, but
Yeah.
still, maybe it's a 30 issue for the 30th anniversary. But then the Hal Jordan Green Lantern series, it's kind of annoying that they got Green Lantern John Stewart, Green Lantern Hal Jordan. They need to have a Green Lantern core book too. Just
I
tossing that out there.
like they did in Rebirth.
Yeah. Because I mean, that was so dumb in Rebirth. It was like, yeah, we got the Green Lantern Hal Jordan story, we got the Green Lantern core, and then we also got the Green Lanterns, the 2 new Green Lanterns that no one knows about. Like they could have gone in the core. Kyle could have got it, and John could have got their own book.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna go Superman. So that's Superman, Green Lantern, Steelworks. I need one more. I mean, something. Oh,
Penguin.
yeah, the Penguin. That one sounds like right up my alley. I said, man, there's not like I'm gonna have to just say the Shazam one because that's gonna be pretty great.
All
But
right, man. Yeah,
if
I
you,
will say this though, real quick, because I was looking at that graphic, that timeline. I'm pretty sure on there was Hawkman symbol.
oh yeah, I already
So
got off the thing, so I didn't. But that'd be pretty cool. I think he did. I think like I know it doesn't sell, so it's not like the best thing from a business standpoint, but I really do think Hawkman's one of those characters that deserves his own series.
yeah,
So,
I mean,
Tom King Hawkman 2023.
oh, please don't say that. I hope Philip Kennedy Johnson is like, yo, I'm coming back. Because
You mean
that
Venditti?
or yes, I'm sorry, Robert Venditti. because I don't know what he's doing right now. And also, that book was so good and totally could have kept going.
The only thing that I know he's doing this book for your favorite comic imprint. That one that's really that does like one comic at a time.
Oh, Bad Idea Comics.
Yeah, he does a tank book for them. That's all I know. But yeah, no, I mean I want him doing anything for DC because he was so good at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, tell us down below if you're watching this on YouTube, what of these books are you really excited about? And which ones will you put on your pull list for Jake?
Yeah. And you know what? I say pick up all the number ones. I mean,
Yeah.
how are you going to know if you don't try them all out?
And like spend, like buy like what, 30 of them so you can get the 1 in 30 variants.
Yeah. At
Because
least the A and the B.
I mean, they're all number ones. They're gonna be worth something in a few years.
Yeah. They're all collector's items,
Yeah.
folks.
I mean, it's like either put your money in this or NFTs.
Right. And one of them is a real tangible thing.
Yeah.
So
And one's a non-fungible token.
oh man. So funny. All right. So that's the end of the news. On the YouTube segment, we're going to do another Sonic Mad Lib, but also I'm going to tell a story about how terrible my flight back to St. Louis was. And it's a
That's gonna be
doozy.
fun.
So check us out on YouTube. That's Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube right now.
Full cavity search?
No.
Okay.
All right. So our travel day to come back started at so Central Time. It started at 2 p.m. and then we got back at 1 a.m. So it was a pretty long travel day.
Yeah.
So we do the flight to Atlanta, and then it was Atlanta to St. Louis. And like the flight there was amazing. There were not one kid on that plane. It was just a bunch of honeymooners all going to this island to hang out for a week. And then on the way back, there were some kids, but it really wasn't too bad. The most annoying part was one of the flight attendants. He was this guy that just loved to hear himself talk over the plane intercom. And the flight from Atlanta to St. Louis is only like an hour and 20 minutes. Like it was a pretty short flight compared to the other one. And this dude was on the intercom, not exaggerating, at least 8 times in that time. It was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And that's with the fucking 10-minute safety video that you got to watch before the plane takes off. So I'm exhausted. Can't sleep on the plane because who can sleep on the plane, especially without like a neck pillow or anything. So I was just exhausted, like
You
can't fall
sound very
asleep.
bougie. Like, I need my neck pillow.
Well, I don't have a neck pillow, but it's
Oh,
just
okay.
like you need one to sleep on the plane.
I'm too self-conscious because I'm like, I don't want to be fucking snoring, like having everyone just like, oh my god.
So anyway, I'm just exhausted, kind of like bobbing in and out of consciousness.
Yeah.
And we finally land. I'm like, thank God we get to get off this fucking plane and go home. And and he comes over the intercom again. And he's like, thank you everybody for choosing, Delta for your flight. I just hope that everybody leaves this plane tonight and shows everyone love and caring, and compassion. Let's go out into the world. And like it's just saying nothing, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, yeah, I'll be nice to everybody. Was gonna do that anyways. And then he's like, and finally, before everyone gets off, I just want to recite this poem that I have. I'm not kidding, dude. It's after midnight, and this motherfucker recites a poem over the plane intercom.
That's awesome.
At this point, I'm like, okay, where's Ashton? Like, I'm
Yeah.
getting punked. Like, this is a fucking social experiment. Let me off the fucking plane. Like, I was just losing my mind. And I'm looking around, like, mouth open, like, to see what other people are thinking. And everyone's just kind of like zoned out. But I'm looking over at Brielle, like, bro, what is happening?
And she's just
I mean, she did sleep. She was awake at this point, but
yeah.
um anyway, he wraps up his stupid fucking poem and like three people kind of slow clap. And then, we get up, we wait for everybody, we get off the plane, and of course he's right by the door, like, have a great night, safe travels home. And like, I shouldn't be mad that he's being
Yeah.
nice, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, it's been a long day and I don't want to hear your fucking poem.
It'd be funny if you're like, I was hoping you're gonna be like, and as I was getting off, I was like, loved your poem, bro.
Dude, it was just insane. Like, dude, read the room. It's late, we're tired. I just couldn't believe it. It was the
Yeah.
most bizarre experience. That has never happened on a flight in my
Now,
experience.
how many flights have you been on though? Because like I'm not a well flown man. I don't think you are either, are you? Because like I
I
have a feeling
mean,
those other people there are probably like on planes a lot more than you, and they're like, yeah, this shit happens a lot more than you think.
it might. I mean, I'm not gonna pretend like I've flown a lot, but it's been more than a handful.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And I don't know. So if anybody has flown a lot and they're like, oh yeah, poems happen all the time, or maybe it's
It's
just
like,
a Delta Airlines
yeah, they're like
thing.
the flight attendants on Delta are fucking psychos.
It was nuts. But anyway, it was so crazy that I was like, I can't wait to tell this on
Yeah.
the podcast because I just couldn't believe it.
It was funny when me and Bree went to Florida because like this was only my second time flying, but we hit turbulence, and then like afterwards the guy the over the intercom made a joke, and Bree's like, I need you to stop making jokes until you land this damn plane. Because that was her first time flying.
Oh
So
wow.
she was like, it's like, yeah, don't be joking around right now.
So it wasn't a good experience for her, huh?
I mean, it was fine. She'd do it again in a heartbeat, but like the way there hit turbulence, and like the way the guy landed, it like, like in that in Serenity when like he like lands and just bounces, it was kind of
Right.
like, it wasn't like as intense as that, but it was pretty much like that.
Yeah, that's funny. All right. Well, now we will get to our Sonic the Hedgehog Mad Lib, which uh also on the play. So I was watching Knives Out, and Brielle chose Sonic 2, the movie, because she hadn't seen it yet. And so I was kind of half paying attention to my movie at parts and looking over at the cool scenes happening in Sonic 2 because that's a good movie.
Speaking
Um,
of Sonic related things, really quick, have you played the new Sonic game yet?
Frontiers, no.
Okay.
I I probably won't till after the holidays because my lovely bride needed a Christmas present idea.
I
I was like,
gotcha.
Sonic Frontiers, but the reviews have been mostly positive.
That's
So
what I've heard. Like I honestly just found out about it like 2 days ago. Because
mm.
like someone on Twitter tweeted, he's like, what the boys are excited for. And he put Sonic Frontier, what men are excited for. And it was Garfield's lasagna party.
Oh man, that's funny. I was expecting it to be like Sonic 06 or something like
Oh
that.
yeah. Which is
Uh,
your favorite one, right?
I mean, I did play it a lot back in the day just because I was excited to have a new Sonic game,
Yeah.
and Silver the Hedgehog was cool.
Is he in any of your you know, like your special art that you have hidden in your room? Or is
The
no,
world may
not
never
none yet?
know.
You're
It's
like,
it's a
no,
good
because
time to.
I was like, no, because Brian won't do my damn commissions.
Yeah, after that one, he said no more. It genuinely is a really good time to be a Sonic fan, though. Like, apart from the movies, we've got Frontiers that just came out, and then the Netflix show drops December like 14th or something like that. So there's a lot of good stuff coming out.
Yeah, I was like, I'll be honest though, it's hard right now for me to get excited about streaming animation stuff on Netflix, just like it
Yeah,
would be for if it was gonna be on HBO Max. Because I'm like, boy, you sure do love canceling shit that people love, don't you?
yeah. I have to have a shred of hope.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the Mad Lib.
Yes, let's do it.
All right, we need an adjective.
Harry.
A noun.
Um, bookcase.
Pretty tame.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be hilarious. A Harry bookcase.
Another noun.
Dog.
A celebrity.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Is that your actual answer?
Drake.
Oh, okay. A number.
69.
Real original.
Yeah, I know.
A noun.
Um, finger. Ain.
That's a
That's a
verb.
verb.
Adjective.
Smelly.
Okay. Noun.
Um, taint.
Okay. Okay, verb ending in ing.
Screwing.
Noun.
Hedgehog.
Adjective.
Veiny.
You're using the same words,
Sorry, I'll
man.
stop. I can't help it. I just think about veiny hedgehogs all the time. Oh, let's just go with prickly.
Okay. Silly word.
Cubicle.
Okay.
Or cooter, whichever one.
Cooter it is. Plural noun.
um, cans.
Adjective.
Oh, let's go with wet.
Okay. Noun.
Humidifier.
Okay. That's super random. Adjective.
Limp.
Color.
Silver.
And noun. Make it a juicy one.
Starburst.
Okay.
Unexplainably juicy.
All right. Now for the dramatic reading.
Yeah.
All right. Miles Tails Prower is one of Sonic's most hairy friends. He can build a bookcase out of almost anything. Here are just a few of his inventions. After their flying dog was destroyed by Drake,
Holy shit. knew I hated Drake for some reason.
After their flying dog was destroyed by Drake, Tails built a better version named Tornado 69. This plane could transform its wings into a finger shape that allowed it to become extra smelly. From what we don't know. Not only is the tornado an amazing taint, it can transform into a screwing robot with a hedgehog launcher. In this prickly form, the tornado is called the Cooter and is one of Sonic's favorite cans.
I'm sure it is.
You know what they say, every fox needs a wet ride. And Tails has created a super speedy humidifier called the Whirlwind S7.
That's actually a pretty good name for a humidifier.
It is. This limp roadster is bright silver and can jump over almost every starburst.
I fucking love Mad Libs, man.
I know. God. I'm not I'm not absolutely in tears like that first one.
Yeah.
But very solid nonetheless. Can't believe Drake killed their dog.
I know.
What the fuck, Drake?
He probably said a really shitty fucking rhyme afterwards too.
Yeah. Like, I killed your dog, you fucking dumb blue hedgehog. Something like that.
Nothing that tough.
You're right.
He's like, hey, Sonic, would you want to talk about it?
All right, folks, welcome back. Like I said, if you'd like to hear my story about my batshit insane plane ride and hear another fun Sonic Mad Lib, then check out our YouTube channel. That is Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube. But now we're going to talk about the comics that Casey read this week.
But really quick, if you would rather, us, I don't know, like come to your house and read the exact same Mad Libs, you just have to send an Uber to both of our houses right now on, at 10:53 p.m. on Monday, November 21st. Send an Uber to pick us up, and then we'll come to your house and do the Mad Libs that we just did and pretend to be as enthused. And then Jake will then go on a plane ride with you and show you the poem that was read to him on the plane and all of that. He'll watch Knives Out with you too. I'll just go back home on said Uber. If you want all of that, if you can bend time and space to make this happen, go ahead. But otherwise, you can just go to the YouTube page. But yeah, want to get into the comics I read? Because
yeah, man.
All right, so I read Blade, Vampire Nation, #1, Stargirl, The Lost Children, 1 of 6. I Hate Fairyland, #1. Batman, Superman, World's Finest, #9. Ultraman, The Mystery of Ultra 7, #4. The Flash, 788, and She-Hulk, #8. Okay, so I'm going to start with Blade, Vampire Nation by Mark Russell and Dave Wachter. I barely even knew her. But this is pretty fine. My main thing that annoys me the most is this is like, I was like hoping, praying to the comic book gods that this would be like a start of something for Blade, but then like as always, it's like, hey, if you want to read some more Blade, check out the Avengers. Please, for the love of God, read the Avengers. And I'm like, I don't want to. But the story itself is pretty sweet. You have this like basically a coup is going on wherever the vampires are right now. They're trying to take, like, they killed one of Dracula's number one guys, and they're like, oh man, this isn't good. And so Blade's having to figure out who was responsible and stuff. And it's more like Blade detecting versus actually just killing. But it's really good. It's fun. It's just like I said, it's like kind of just feel like I kind of wasted my 4.99 on this book that just read the Avengers next, I guess. Because yeah, I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, like I said, it's interesting. It's not the best Mark Russell either that we've gotten. Like it's good Mark Russell because Mark Russell's like 9 times out of 10 always good. But this just wasn't like as fun as normal Mark Russell either. But yeah, it's still pretty good. I wish we could get more from a Mark Russell Blade series than just one issue. So yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 though. Art in it's really good too. Okay, next up it's Stargirl with Jeffrey Johns and Todd Knock doing the art, and it's like 9 times out of 10. I know I keep talking about things that are 9 times out of 10, but Jeff Johns has like a way of writing where it's like, oh, this is very edgy. Ooh, someone's getting killed, and it's very dramatic on how they get killed. Like their back is turned and someone either stabs them or breaks their neck. Like that happens a lot in Jeff Johns stuff. Or when he's writing Stargirl, he's actually like, oh no, I'm gonna make this fun, lighthearted because it makes me think of my sister and I love her. And, and so like, yeah, this is just lighthearted and fun and it's enjoyable. Todd Knock does a great job on the art, as you would expect from someone like Todd. And the story itself is pretty good. It's a solid first issue because it's like very much her just, you know, going out. Like she's getting in trouble because she skipped some classes and stuff. And then she starts doing some investigating with Red Arrow. And yeah, like the only real downside that I have to this is like, I don't remember when that other Stargirl series came out. It was like what?
The Stars and Stripe one.
Yeah, what when was that? That was
That was
like
like 2001 or something like
no, no,
that,
I meant
wasn't it?
no, I mean the one that we read this year. It was like in June, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was the spring break special.
Okay, spring break, so it's even further than June.
Mm.
Okay, so yeah, that's the main downside to it because it's like it's bringing up stuff that happened in that. Like we have, just read it last month and we haven't read like 200 comics since then. They're like, don't you remember when this happened? It's like, not really, Jeffrey. I had to read all of Flashpoint Beyond. But other than that, it's still like an enjoyable comic. And I would recommend it to anyone like Jake. I know you probably will read it since you read the
Yeah,
last one and you enjoyed it.
yeah.
So I think you'll like it. I'm going to go 8.5 out of 10. There are little things here and there, but the art's super good. And this is, in my opinion, anymore Jeff at his best. So yeah. Okay. Next up, it's I Hate Fairyland by Scotty Young and Brett Bean on the art. And you know, it's just like you don't realize how much you miss something until you see it again. Cause like when this book ended the first time, I was like, that's fine. Whatever. And then like now I reread this one, I'm like, boy, I miss this. This is hilarious. This is so much fun. Scotty Young is a very good writer. He found a way to bring Gert back into Fairyland and make it make sense. That's the one thing I was worried about with this. Is like, how is this gonna work? But yeah, it's so great. Just a really gloriously fun time. Like it's Gert trying to live her life now after being like the hot stuff on Fairyland, like just able to do whatever she wants. So she still talks a big game like she would on Fairyland, but Fairyland logic doesn't work in the real world, and she gets her butt kicked a lot. She gets fired from jobs a lot. She gets drunk a lot. And then at the very end, they're like, I need you to go to Fairyland. And so she's not really excited about it. But yeah, this is a really good book. Uh might be my pick of the week. I'm gonna give it a 9.5 out of 10. Like I would highly recommend it. The only downside is you will have to read Fairyland, the first one. I mean, even though they do a good job of like kind of summarizing stuff, you're still you better off reading the first one.
Man, I don't want to read the first one, but I was gonna check this one out.
I mean, they do a good job of like setting it up, but I mean, here's the thing: if you like Fairyland, like if you're like, oh yeah, I want to read this new Fairyland, odds are you would like the first one too. So it's not like, it's like, oh man, the first one sucks. This new one's still really good, but you need the plot points. Like, no, they're both good. You're gonna like both of them.
Right.
And I don't know. There's a comic book shop. It's in St. Louis on I think Telegraph Road that might have a trade or two. Do they?
I can confirm that yes, they do.
Okay, so I mean, maybe you can pick one up there. But next up, it's Batman Superman World's Finest by Mark Waid and Dan Mora on the art. And this is really good. Dan Mora is super talented with the way he draws everything. You get kind of Superman trying to figure out really just how to be a mentor because he doesn't really know. So he's like talking to Barry about it. And then you get the Kid Lightning or whatever his name is teaming up with the Teen Titans. And, he gets scolded because he's a little too hot headed. And Superman, we get a little more of his backstory. Joker and Key are teaming up though. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. The ending is pretty intense. Um, I like this book a lot, though. I like just what they're doing. The only downside is since this is one of those stories where it's like, yeah, this character probably won't amount to much afterwards because this is, I don't really remember ever seeing this character in the main continuity. And since this takes place in the past, odds are he'll get back to his reality or he dies. But yeah, I like that a lot. It's like Mark Waid is killing it. Like he had some books when he was with Marvel these past, for a while where it was like, yeah, this is fine, or this isn't, doing it for me, whatever. And like now it's like with DC, it's just like revitalized him so much where it's the point where it's like, not only is he just killing it, but he is like not only is it good, he's just like destroying it. He's doing so good. This is another knockout for me. I'm gonna give it a probably 9.5 also. I really, really liked it.
Nice. High scores.
And then Ultraman, The Mystery of Ultra 7, number 4 by Kyle Higgins and Matt Groom with David Tinto on the art. So we get the these four people that were this one dude's adopted kids that were the dude's a billionaire and they go to fight Ultraman and Ultra 7 in their ship that turns in like all like breaks apart and does all this stuff and it combines together and makes their own giant robot. And it's pretty neat. Like, here's what it looks like.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so, yeah, then it fights them. And like, Ultraman wants to help Ultra 7 still while they're, so he's holding back and stuff. But looks like some bad stuff might happen. It's a good time. This is a good book. I kind of wish though they would have done like because I don't know enough about Ultraman. I'm not gonna lie for that to know if that character is actually in the show, like that Robo combined guy. He very well could be. So then this would make this a moot point. But I think it'd be cool if he's a new original character, if they would have gone with like the Shogun Warrior from the Godzilla book back in the day, gone with that design because that would have been pretty sweet.
Also, when was the last time we saw Shogun Warrior?
So I actually Googled it once and he's popped up like here and there, like randomly. But like I think one time he was a bad guy. Like it's like, oh, we got the suit and it's fighting Iron Man, like that type of shit. So like because I Googled it one day, so I don't remember now. But I know he's like it's randomly popped up here and there. So I think it just would have been cool to pop up here.
Right.
But yeah, it's a fine book. That's kind of how I feel about Higgins most of the time, where it's like, this is fine. Like you're not gonna get complaints, but you're also not always gonna be like, oh my God. Like he kind of shot his whole load with his Power Rangers, that big crossover book that you got me. Cause it's like, yeah, everything else has just been kind of like, okay. But
I'd argue his new 52 Nightwing. I like that a lot.
I mean, even that for me was still kind of like, this is fine. This is good. But I mean, it's like I know this is gonna make you boo me, but I put it at the same level as who was the Rebirth writer? Oh, blanking on his name. What's his name?
Humphreys?
No, before Sealy.
Oh, Sealy.
I'd say it's on the
Oh,
same level as Sealy's.
no way.
See, I don't get what you didn't like about Sealy. Sealy, at least he introduced a fun new character with the Raptor dude.
No, I didn't dislike it. Sealy is what I consider is like fine.
Yeah,
I think Higgins was above fine, which I would say is good.
yeah, I got you, man. Okay, but yeah, I'd go with a 7 for that. And then Flash with the 90s cover, which is I love these 90s covers that are out. All of them are just the funnest thing.
I wanted to surprise you with it.
Yeah, I was very happy. But yeah, so this is by Jeremy Adams with Fernando Pesarn on the art. And so like turn turns out that the guy who was the head of the prison is now like who was like like got in trouble with the got in trouble because he was doing shady shit. Uh, beat the stuff that was like the charges against him became mayor instead because comic book logic, and now he decided to take the rogues out of prison and got them all jobs as like his police force. And so then, Flash sees Captain Cold about to free some guys trying to rob a store. And then, oh, now Flash is under arrest because he's being a vigilante and stuff. And yeah, it's kind of fun, but also it's like, it's been
It's been
almost 6 months since we actually went through what, this guy was doing. So it's hard to remember. And that's like the main downside because it's like, since it has been so long when they're like explaining all this stuff, I'm like, yeah, we've had like two crossover events that we've been going through with this book instead of its main stuff. So like most of this guy's crap I don't really remember. And then he had that one filler issue where Flash is fighting a wrestler. Like you could have, even though I loved that issue, you could have, given us more stuff on what's actually going on in the main story instead of just giving us a filler issue. But the art in this is very good and it's well written. It's just again, it like that is a glaring issue to me. I don't know if anyone else reading is like, oh no, I had no problem with it. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a probably a 7.5, close to an 8. Be like 7.56 because it's still really good, and you get to see the rogues deal with Flash and stuff, and I love the rogues. Okay, and then lastly, it's She-Hulk, and this is by Rainbow Rowell and Takeshi Miyazawa. And you know how I complained about this book sometimes being like, they don't do a good job of explaining why this guy's got superpowers and this lady's short and got a weird face. Well, boy, oh boy, you know what they do in this issue?
explain it.
They do. And Rainbow does a dang good job with it. Only downside to this issue is not much She-Hulk beef or any She-Hulk beef, really. No She-Hulk at all. But because it's all just talking about the other two characters, but it's still really good. It's a really good explaining issue. Um, yeah, Rainbow is a very good writer. I'm very interested in seeing where this goes. I like that issue a lot. It kind of feels like an annual story, versus an actual like regular story, but still good. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I liked it. So, what books are you excited for next week, man?
Oh, I'm gonna have to go with Action Comics for sure. Um, let's see. I know you'd probably say this, but I'm gonna say Daredevil. And for funsies, Doctor Strange Fall Sunrise.
Yeah, you took a bunch of mine. So I'll say Detective Comics, Hitome, and We will go with Punchline Gotham game number 2. I'm kidding. Tim Drake Robin number 3. I got you again. 8 billion genies number 6.
Right on.
Okay, buddy. It's Fantastic Four time. And I just thought this would be funny. Give me 4 characters that you think would be most likely to have in OnlyFans.
Well, sure, dude, I can do that. So I will say this. My first thought was, before I took her off the list, was New 52 Starfire, because she was just written so poorly that I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
be surprised if that one talentless hack, Scott Lobdell, would have written that in at this point if he were still writing it. But I will say Star Fox. I just get kind of sleazy vibes from him anyways,
Mm-hmm.
because I think his whole set of powers is like psychedelic roofies.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go with Star Fox. um I'm gonna say Black Condor for funsies, because
Because
if
that's
you
your
guys
dream.
yeah, if you guys don't know who Black Condor is, Google him and tell me he wouldn't have an OnlyFans on the side. I will say Catwoman, because while I feel like she makes a pretty good money from her thieving, if times were tough, I could see her, selling some feet pics on the side.
It's like, why do I keep getting Batman 69 buying my feet pics? And he's like, take off your shoes.
Bruce, is that you? Oh gosh. And then finally, I think an obvious answer is Dick Grayson.
Like, again, is that just you wishing?
No, I mean, I can legit see Tom Taylor writing that into that
Oh yeah,
series.
or Sam Humphries.
Or Sam Humphries, the one that started it all.
Yeah, Batman's like, yeah, put on this, put on that underwear I got you for Christmas. And he's like, Bruce? No, I mean, put on that underwear your hot dad got you for Christmas.
Oh, anyway, what about you, man?
So I went with Hercules, like, but before they stopped making him fun, Hercules, like he would 100% have one and just be going all out, full bear mode. And then I was like in Dazzler, because she doesn't really have a secret identity, and she also is always in the public eye and used to be a singer, so she'll be like, my singing career is not doing so hot anymore. Time to dazzle them with my with
with
my
my
boobs.
toes.
Then Harley Quinn, because it's like, yeah, she would do that, but then also find a way to get people's like credit card numbers after the fact. And then Booster Gold will do anything to be famous.
Yep. Oh, that's so funny.
But I think that wraps us up, buddy.
Yeah, I think so too. All right. Well, folks, closing plugs, if you would. Uh, do I even need to say the first one anymore, man?
Go ahead. They like hearing your dulcet tones.
Okay. Go to our super active Facebook page. That's facebook.com/two worlds podcast, and give the page a like. You can also follow us on Twitter at two_worlds_PC, and on Instagram, where I will absolutely do a post this week since I missed last week, and that's at two worlds pod. You can email us at twoworldspodcast@gmail.com. And if you would, please go to our YouTube channel. That's Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube, and subscribe.
Yeah, and the reason why last week the YouTube thing didn't get posted is because I went to go onto our YouTube page on my computer where I had already logged in. It's like, hey, you hadn't been on here in a while, so just so you know, for your safety, we logged you out. And then when I went to log in, they're like, yo, you can't do that because this is not the main computer. So we can't, sorry. And then I'm like, I'm not gonna bother Jake with this nonsense. But leave us a comment down below about not which one you think would be most likely to be having OnlyFans, but let's hear your fetishes. Let's hear which one you most want to see pics of on their OnlyFans.
Tell us your deepest, darkest fanfic
Yeah.
secrets.
If it's Colossus, like cool. If it's Kitty Pride, but when Claremont was writing her and she was a child, not cool,
Not
guys.
cool. That one we don't want to know.
Like, I mean, we'll find out and we will call FBI probably. I think they're the ones that deal with it. The female body inspectors. They're like, oh, this is too young. Go to jail.
Are there any characters like Marvel or DC characters that are like kind of furry, like bunny girls?
Uh, mm, I don't know. I mean, does Lola Bunny count?
Maybe. If there's one out there, though, we're gonna get a comment from Preston. I'm
I
calling
mean,
out Preston.
just gonna say this now. If he's seen My Hero Academia and he's like, "Oh yeah, that muscle mommy Mirko," I'd be like, "Dude, I get it."
We all get it.
Yeah,
I'm just ruffling his
yeah.
feathers. But
Maybe there's gonna be one that we're gonna find out about. Oh, maybe he's like, I know it sounds weird, guys, but Captain Carrot.
Can you imagine a Captain Carrot OnlyFans?
It's like,
Oh
where's he putting
gosh.
that carrot? There is the Alley Cadabra though, so maybe he's into that.
God, I can't get over where's he putting that carrot? All right, guys, let us know about your comic book character OnlyFans dreams. We gotta hear it.
Yep.
But anyway, we'd love to stay in chat, but Casey and I have to go kick Mum Raw right square in the nuts. So we'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.
Snarf. Bye, guys.